question, then we'll go to our first call. This is just because it has Bob Holly's name in it. I thought I'd grab it. David from Memphis says, as an old-school fan, I'm glad to see tag team wrestling once again being featured with The Shield and WWE and Bad Influence, Kaz and Daniels, who I'm huge fans of their work, except for Kaz's comment last night in TNA. My question for Brock stems from his own tag team career. How were Kane and next week's livecast guest Bob Holly as partners, and who was your favorite partner in your career?
Is that the total question?
Yeah, total question. Yeah.
Obviously, it was way different. Like, okay, Kane, and like we were talking about Sid earlier, that was cool. It's nice to have like the you know, we're so different. You know, I kind of like the odd couple.
Yeah.
And you know, so I got my ass kicked a lot working, you know, being the partner of Kane and Sid, because, you know, who's going to take all the bumps in that operation, you know?
Yeah.
And even in working with Bob, and I could compare Bob a lot to teaming with Marty Jannetty, because we're both, you know, we're all about the same size. And our roles could be kind of interchangeable, you know. One guy doesn't always have to take the heat in the match, and, you know, things like that. So as far as my favorite partner, and obviously, like, you know, Hunter and Kevin and Scott and Dog and all that, you know, the DX and the NWO Wolfpack stuff is all, like, my favorite stuff. Is strictly tag team wise, like, Kane was my favorite partner ever. I thought we got a lot of really good stuff out of that.
Yeah.
We told some really good stories in that, you know, in my time teaming with Kane. We got a lot of mileage out of that.
I want to let the listeners know who are listening to us live that they can email questions right now to twtorchlivecast@gmail.com, twtorchlivecast@gmail.com. And we are live here at twtorchlivecast.com, and we welcome your phone call, 646-721-9828. In just a moment, we'll go to your calls. Sean Waltman, known best as X-Pac and Six, is my guest today. And next week, as we mentioned, Bob Holly and Kevin Kleinroth. Sean, what do you think of the Kane-Daniel Bryan storyline and the dynamic between those two? They've been teaming for a long time, done a lot of, you know, they've gotten a lot of TV time, and it's going to be, I think, a dynamic and a team that a lot of people who are big fans today remember and talk about for a long time.
I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of each of theirs individually.
Yeah.
Both personally and you know, professionally. So I saw the parallels right away as soon as I saw those guys, you know, get stuck together. Well, not stuck together, but I mean put together. I think they've done some pretty interesting stuff. It's, you know, the whole anger management stuff, it's a little out there, you know. I don't like the way they, the only thing is I think they pussified Kane a little bit, you know, a little bit too much. You know, since when did he care about this or that, or, you know, different things that really, I think, went against his character or his persona that he's had since day one, from the day he was introduced as Kane years and years ago.
I think what they're doing with him is what, like, sitcom dads do in TV series that are aimed at adolescent kids, which is, you know, you, as a kid you live with adults being authority figures, so when you watch on TV and they're made to look dumb and fallible and silly, the kids like to laugh because it's unexpected. And
sure.
Kane being the monster for so long, and WWE aiming for, you know, PG level audience, is trying to, you know, for people who know that Kane is the monster and he's still scary, but that he can, you know, want to hug and, you know, do all this stuff. And I think that's where they're coming from. I'm not judging whether I like it or not, or whether I think it's good or not, but I think that's kind of where they're coming from. Is like, isn't this so crazy that this monster Kane has a softer side and a sense of humor?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to really be explained because it's obvious, but it got to me. Like, I'm picturing in my mind Kane at one point, like going, gee, I don't know, AJ, talking to the little girl AJ, you know, and like having a conversation with her that made me go, you know, I wanted to hit the TV. I'm like, that's not the monster Kane, you know, that I used to work so hard to protect his monster persona. I used to go to some serious, I'd take my fists and go to war when they try to make him do things like talk. You have no idea how many times they tried to make him talk before he actually did it.
Really?
And how many times they talked about taking the mask off. I'm like, he's not talking. He's not taking the mask, you know. I'm like, you guys just don't get it, you know.
Wow.
So, and he spoke volumes. He spoke volumes without saying a word.
He's one of the best.
You know?
He is absolutely one of the best at being able to emote with just through a little twitch, a little head turn. Under a mask. It really is amazing. You know, he's one of the best at that.
Yeah, and I mean, it was really cool. Like when we won the tag titles, and you know, it was funny because we're working with Jeff Jarrett and the late great Owen, who the anniversary of his death just came and went. May he rest in peace. But we were still doing that thing where Kane would turn on me still, you know, like he was still unpredictable, like an unpredictable dog. Like you never knew, like when he was going to bite the hand that fed him, you know.
Yeah. And
so, you know, he comes in and cleans house, and you know, boom, down goes Jeff, like one of them, and then I'm in the ring, and the people are going crazy. And then Kane looks over at me and he grabs me by the throat, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, he's gonna he's gonna choke slam me." Mm-hmm. And he picked me up over his head and he threw me on top of Jeff or whoever it was for the 1, 2, 3, and like it was like a big swerve, you know. And the people really dug the finish, and even like Steve Austin, when I came back to the curtain, was like, "Oh man, I love that finish. That was such a feel-good finish," you know.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Very cool. Well,
that was my reward for being team player at WrestleMania and doing the job for Shane, letting Hunter turn on me.
Cool.